and welcome to another Lawn Fawn video. Today I am so excited because we are introducing a brand new set, Christmas Like No Otter, that's exclusive for Simon Says Stamp's STAMPtember event this month and only available for a limited time. It's super cute, so let's check it out. So first I'm going to go ahead and stamp out all of the images from this set, and you have those two cute little otters holding hands. I love them. The otter holding the present and then the little side view otter. We also have a log and a little piece of seaweed, a bow, a present, a gingerbread man, a starfish, a seashell. We have some waves so you can kind of create backgrounds. We have the triple wave and then a single wave to kind of fill it in. And then we have bubbles in both a bubble shape and a heart shape. There's awesome sentiments. I have I thought I oughter say, have an otterly, and then Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. And then we have to a friend like no otter and to my significant otter, which can also go along with those sentiments. I love how those sentiments look like they're kind of floating in the water. Now I'm using my Copic markers to add some color to these cute little images, and so I really have a fun time coloring all of these otters in different shades of brown and also kind of some warm grays too. And so I am letting the curves of the stamp dictate where I'm going to put all my shadow. So if there's a curve, I'm going to put a little darker area underneath it, so under his paws, under his neck, around his feet. And once you start doing that, you can see how it starts looking three-dimensional, which I think is so cool. I just love that look. And then once I have the little guy on the left, I'm going to start to work on the little girl on the right, kind of repeating the same thing. So I like to do one and then do the other so I can kind of make them match a little bit. So you can see I'm laying down my darker areas, blending it out with my light marker, just like that. So I'm just going to blend all of those little areas out. And then I'm going to take in that much darker marker, that E37, and do all those curves again under the paws, under the neck, around the feet, blend it out with the medium and then with the light, and that's how you get that really cool three-dimensional look. So now I'm going to use the same exact idea but with different colors of markers. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of do a little warm gray one, which I thought looks really cool for Christmas especially. And so once again I'm adding some shading, kind of keeping its head to the lightest at the top and then putting those little dark areas once again around their arms and around that present so that it looks kind of 3D and really cool. With this otter, I'm going to lay down my medium color first there on that little side view guy and to all the areas where I want it to be darkest. Then I'm going to take my lightest marker and kind of blend that out just really messy, and then now I'm going to bring in that E55 and kind of go over all of those areas that I put the E53 on. Then I can blend that out with E53 and then E51. I sometimes find it hard to blend these markers, and so I touch the light marker to the tip of the medium marker and I get kind of a middle shade to blend those together. And then to make the log stand out, I'm going to use some different browns again and just kind of add some shading all around those little wavy lines on the log. For my little seaweed here, I'm going to add dark areas right to the kind of right along the middle part of the seaweed and then blend it out with the light marker, and it really adds some cool dimension. Now, what I love about this little guy holding the present is that this could be a Christmas present or it could be a birthday present, just depending on how you color it. So I did a red present for Christmas with a little white bow, but I love that you can kind of change the set and use it for multiple seasons. And so now I'm going to add a bunch of red colors because I just love red for Christmas so much, and I'm blending them out, just two markers, and you really get a really nice look. I'm going to color in my cute little gingerbread man here, and then add some color to the starfish and that little seashell. For some reason I love coloring shells purple. I just think it looks really pretty. And then I'm just going to add some light blues to those little bubbles. Now these are the coordinating dies, and I'm going to bend them apart at the tabs or use my wire snips to separate them. I'm going to line them up with my stamp images and use my post-it note tape to hold them in place, and then I'm going to run them through my die cut machine, and then one of my favorite things ever is popping them out of the die. So I think they just look so cute there. I love these fun images, and I love how you can mix and match all of the pieces of them. So that little guy can float on the log, and he can also hold the present or the starfish, the seashell, the gingerbread man, so you can kind of mix and match. And then I love how that Santa hat works on all of them too, and it just looks so cute on them. I've gone ahead and die cut some craft cardstock with my stitched wood grain backdrop, and here I'm using an outside-in stitched rectangle to then die cut that wood grain backdrop and have a bunch of stitching on it. And then here I have a 3-inch circle, and I'm just going to cut that circle right from the middle there because I'm going to be creating a shaker card. So here I'm just trimming down some acetate, which is going to go right behind that window, and I'm going to use some score tape here, some nice strong tape, to go all the way around that opening there so that we can create the plastic window. So I'll just pick up that plastic and attach it there to the adhesive, and now it's time to work on the piece that's going to go behind the shaker. So I'm using some Merman ink and some Peacock ink, and I'm using some Bristol Smooth smooth cardstock, and I'm just starting off of the cardstock and then going on with both the peacock and the merman. And I keep putting my little opening over it because I want to make sure it kind of has different areas that are dark and light, so it really kind of looks like the ocean. And once it looks like what I want it to look like, I'm going to go ahead and stamp those cute little waves, the triple waves, and then the little single waves to kind of fill in the area. Now, when I create shakers, I love to do triple foam. So I'm taking my foam roll here, I've doubled it up, and now I'm going to triple it up. And that height makes it so that the shaker pieces move really, really easily. So I'm going to trim this down into some nice thin little strips so that I can go all the way around that window. And you're going to notice that at the bottom, I've kind of left a big gap between the foam and the opening, and that's so that all of the little shaker pieces can hide and then kind of be a surprise when they move out. So I'm using some cute little Lucy's little things there in some oceany colors. I'm going to peel up all of that liner tape there, and then I can go ahead and line that right on top of that cute little ocean wave, and those shaker pieces look so cool. Now, one of my favorite things to do with those seaweed pieces is to create a wreath with them. So I'm adding some adhesive to the back of them, and then I'm just going around that circle opening, creating a wreath with all of those little pieces. And so you'll see I kind of keep moving them back and forth because I'm trying to form kind of the best circle that I can. So I'm going to kind of keep moving them until it looks really, really cool, and I just think it looks so pretty. Here I just trimmed down a little piece because that's where the bow's going to go. So I'm just going to trim it down, little short piece there, and just kind of hide it behind the bow so it looks like one big continuous ring. And then when you have the bow on there, it's like the perfect little seaweed Christmas wreath. So where all of those little seaweed pieces overlap, I'm going to add decoration by using my seashells and my starfish. So every time they overlap, I'm going to add those there, and that really helps make the wreath look continuous. So now I'm going to do a little technique inspired by my friends Yainea and Elena. So I'm going to add those little Santa hats, but then I'm going to connect the lines between the otters and the Santa hats to make it look continuous, like there isn't a die there. So you'll see I'm just connecting all of those little pieces, and then once I connect the otter's head to the Santa hat, I'm going to fill it in with my marker, and it's going to make it look like the hat was actually originally a part of the stamp. So I think it's such a cool look. I just love doing that. And then now I can add those cute little otters to my little shaker scene. I'm stamping out a banner from Bannertastic in some merman ink, and you can see here that I'm taking the To My Significant Otter and I'm actually curving it to fit that banner. I love that about clear stamps. I love getting to curve them to make them kind of do what I want them to do. And so here now I've got this cute little banner I put up on some foam tape that I just love it. I just think that To Significant Otter just cracks me up. So to have some cardstock that would match my little shaker scene, I took my merman ink and just kind of blended it onto some cardstock. I'm going to layer that onto a white card base and then layer my whole shaker scene on top of that. And I just love this. It just cracks me up. It's just so sweet, and the little shaker pieces behind it are such a nice and happy surprise. Now to finish my sentiment, I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas on the inside. So now it's To My Significant Otter, Merry Christmas, which I think is just so sweet. I just love those little otters holding hands, and I love making shakers. I just think they just make people smile. So I was in an interactive card mood, and I thought it would be fun to make a shadow box card. So I'm using my shadow box die here to cut some nitpicky paper. I love that white knit pattern. So I'm going to cut the main base piece, and then I'm going to cut the piece with the window in it. Then next I'm going to fold along the score lines that the die created for me. There's one somewhat in the center of the piece, and then there's a little tab at the end. And so I'm going to do it on the piece with the window and on the other piece that I need to form my shadow box card. Next I'm going to take some nice strong score tape and put it along both of those tabs. Next, I'm going to remove that liner paper there, and then I'm going to take the two pieces and butt them up against each other, press down that tab, and create one long piece. Now I want to decorate the inside of my shadow box, so I'm trimming down some pieces for both the backs and the sides, and I'm taking some tumbled glass distress ink and using a really light hand starting off and then going on to my little pieces. Then I'm taking some broken china and kind of darkening up the edges, and I'm repeating the same thing for all of those little pieces. Then I cut the little hills that go inside of the shadow box, and I'm using some merman and peacock ink for these hills to create water. So I'm adding the peacock to the top edge to kind of define it, and then the merman towards the bottom. Now I'm using my anti-static powder tool here to go along all of my pieces so that I can stamp this snow here, and this comes from the Snow Cool stamp set. And I'm stamping in some nice sticky Versamark ink, and then I'm going to add some white heat embossing powder onto those cute little snow pieces. And then once I have that all done, I can go ahead and heat up these pieces, and there's something so beautiful to me about that kind of light blue with the white snow on it. It's just gorgeous. Now that all of those pieces are done, I can start to line them inside my box. So I'm going to do the one in the middle in the back there first, and then I'll add the ones in the side, kind of butting them up against each other so that the whole inside of the box is this beautiful snowy scene. Then I'm going to take those little insert pieces, I'm going to fold along the tabs. There's one on either side of both of those little ocean pieces, and we're going to add some nice strong tape to those tabs too. Now once I've got that done, I can start to put these into the box. I'm going to put the one in the front, kind of there towards the front, and then put the one in the back. And I'm just kind of making them look equidistant. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to look cool no matter what. Then I'm going to fold these flat. I'm going to remove that liner tape to expose that adhesive. And then I can go ahead and fold that right side down flat to pick up that adhesive there and make sure that those hills are in the perfect place. Then I'm going to remove the liner tape over there and push down on the other side to form the entire box. It's already looking so cool. Okay, so now it's time to decorate the box. So I'm gonna add a cute little Santa hat to my little otter there, and I'm gonna put him behind the little ocean wave and put the other one on top of the ocean wave just for some nice dimension. And then here I've used my put a bow on it dies. This is the medium size, and I've cut it from some chili pepper cardstock. I'm gonna roll the edges around my little stylus tool there to make sure that they're nice and kind of a fluffy bow. Then I'm gonna add some adhesive to the middle and line those two pieces up, and then put the little middle piece all the way around to finish off that bow. Then I'm going to take my bow ends and line that right on top, and I just think it looks so cute. There's nothing like a red bow for Christmas. Now before I keep forming the whole thing, I realized I needed to stamp on the back. So I stamped my "Have an Otterly Merry Christmas" on the back, and now I can go ahead and line up that bow on the top of my scene. I'm going to give my little otter a present to hold, and now I'm going to take these seaweed pieces and start layering them along the inside of the frame and then also on the different little oceans that we've got in the background. And by layering them behind and in front of things, it's really giving some nice dimension. I'm going to add one last little seaweed piece and my shadow box card is done. And I just love this so much. It's so cool. That snowy background on the inside, all the way on the sides too. And those cute little otters make for such a fun and unique Christmas card. Now, I love that this set is so perfect for Christmas, but it's also really great for making cards all year round, which I love that because that means I can use the set all year round. So I've die cut a stitched hillside backdrop out of some Watercolor Wishes paper, and I'm stamping my sentiment there. And one of my favorite things about the sentiments is that they line up with those hillsides, which is so cool. And now I'm creating a background just like I did for the shadow box card using tumbled glass and broken china, and adding that broken china to the outside just to add a little bit of darkness. Now here I'm layering a stitched rectangle frame from some Watercolor Wishes paper too in that beautiful purple color, and I'm layering that right on top. And you'll see that I kind of cheated the frame down towards the bottom because I wanted to make the area on the top a little bit smaller, and so I just trimmed off the bottom and no one will ever know I did that. So here I have taken a Grassy Hillsides cut from more Watercolor Wishes paper. There's a theme here. And so I'm going to layer that behind to kind of be some seaweed floating in the ocean. And I love that pop of green that it adds. Now I've added some foam tape to that whole frame, but before I attach it, I'm going to start creating my scene. So I've tucked that cute little otter behind one of those hills, and then I've got the little otters holding hands on the other side. And I'm going to take the little liner strips here just off the top of the frame because I'm going to stick seaweed pieces so it looks like the seaweed is kind of coming out from the frame, which I think is really fun. And then I'm going to keep filling in seaweed pieces all around this whole card. And once that's all done, I can attach my frame to the card base and then give them the little seashell and the starfish to hold, which I think is so sweet and kind of, it's just adorable. I just love it. And then I'm going to add a couple more little seaweed pieces just to kind of finish framing the scene. I love that this card was really easy to make, and it's got this beautiful kind of spring color palette, which is really fun to see with this Christmas stamp set. And so I'm going to layer that onto a card base, and you can just see how cute that is. It would be such a great way to send a beautiful thank you. Next, I wanted to show you some cards from our design team. And so this card by Yainea is so beautiful, and what I love about it is that it's a completely non-Christmas card. It's a love card, which would be actually really cute for Valentine's Day. This card by Yainea is so gorgeous and inspired me to make my shadow box card. I love how her sentiments are going along the waves. And then this card by Elena is amazing. She used the road borders to highlight her sentiment kind of like in a banner across the card, which is so cute. This card by Audrey is so gorgeous. I love how she painted that watercolor background. And then this card by Shari is so sweet. I love the non-traditional colors for this beautiful Christmas card. And then I love how she made this into a wedding card using some pieces from Bicycle Built for You, which is so cute. Then this card by Elise is gorgeous. I love that it's to my significant otter. It's just so sweet with those little heart bubbles. And then this card by Lizzie, to a friend like the otter, would be such a nice thank you to send to a special friend. And then here, this card by Nicole is gorgeous. I love her scene and how she created kind of like mistletoe at the top of the card. And then this card by Jessica, that background with distress oxides is so cool. And then here I love that she did the I thought I oughter say, and then on the inside of the card she continued the sentiment with the cute little otter with thanks, which is so fun. And then Nicole had a similar idea. She has have an otterly, and then she used an alphabet set to create a custom sentiment on the inside of her card for amazing birthday. This card is also a shaker card, which is just so fun and so cute. This next card by Lynette is just gorgeous. I love how she used the stitch wood grain backdrop to kind of look like waves by putting it on its side, which looks so cool. And then this card by Lynette is so sweet. I love how the otters are in the little heart. I just love the color combo too. And then I love how she used a similar color combo again and used the road border to make a really cool sentiment. So I cannot wait to see what you guys create with this super cute set, so make sure to share it with us. Thank you so much for watching today and have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!